Oh, hey strangers, it's Andrew Carruthers from The Journeyist. Welcome to the return of The Journey of Sunday. It's been a little while, I apologize. I need to take a little time for myself and just get focused and centered in my own sense of being. So thank you for your patience and welcome back. So I'm going to take a little bit different turn with The Journey of Sunday because I want to keep these a little bit shorter, smaller. They were kind of turning into feature films instead of short bits, which I wanted them to be. So this week we're going to talk about a favorite term of mine, which is Pantheism. Now I specifically chose this exact setting for this talk because really the concept of pantheism is that God or spirit or whatever you like to call it exists in all things, especially within nature. The term itself kind of first showed up in around the 16th or 17th century, but really when we look back to most indigenous or earth-based spirituality, that's where we see pantheism at its best. And when we say indigenous or earth-based spirituality, we typically think of, because we live here in America, we think of our indigenous people, the Native Americans. But if we look back far enough, even Europeans have a earth-based indigenous background. So what does this mean? Indigenous, earth-based, pantheistic? What it means is that this group, these people, would see our world as everything having a spirit contained within it. God is within every single thing. And that there isn't necessarily a separation between our reality and our spirit. A pantheistic view doesn't necessarily look at one specific god or multiple different gods that govern everything on our planet. It is our reality. Everything within our reality is part of that whole, is the makeup of spirit or God. Now that doesn't mean that other spiritual traditions that do have God or gods couldn't also be considered pantheistic, because very often a lot of those traditions are representing aspects of our world through the attribution of a being of sorts that represents that aspect of the planet. For example, within the neo-pagan community, and they look back and they see our pagan roots, which is the European indigenous culture, and a lot of them do attribute to a god or goddess some type of attribute of our being here on the planet. But they also tend to consider that that is just part of the oneness of the planet or the oneness of our spirit. So that could be considered still pantheistic because the god or goddess is not necessarily a omnipotent separate being from everything else. And there are definitely some out there, me possibly included, that believe that a lot of the Eastern religions, not necessarily religions, but spiritual belief systems, could be also considered pantheistic. Things like Hinduism, that does actually have gods. Again, many believe that those gods are representations of elements of our spirit, but it's all still part of one entire whole, which they look out and see everything as being part of spirit. And finally, what is really interesting to me is that even quantum physics kind of points to a pantheistic world that we live in. Because when we look at quantum physics, it tells us that even something synthetic, like the strap that I have for my backpack here, that is just energy. And there's much less actual physical form to this strap than there is empty space when we look at it from a quantum level. So from a pantheistic view and a quantum physics view, is this really any different than this? Okay, so at the beginning of the video, I told you I wanted to change this up and really just focus in on bite-sized chunks again. I can already tell I'm rambling into another 10-minute feature film, so I'm going to stop here. This is a great quick introduction to pantheism. If you get on Wikipedia or just Google in general, and you Google pantheism, you are going to find tons of information, which I invite you to do. But more importantly, this is a community project, like I've always said, so it's so important to me that I hear your views about what you pick up when you think of this concept of pantheism within spirituality. And my hope is that even if you are Christian, even if you are Buddhist, even if you are Hindu, that you would be open to hearing and absorbing something fresh from a different point of view of spirituality. And yes, I am wearing a Journeyist beanie. Is that dorky? It's kind of like wearing your own band's t-shirt when you're on stage. Oh well. So pop your thoughts into the comments. I can't wait to hear from you guys. I missed you. So back on the horse, Journey of Sunday. I don't even know what episode this is. I think it's like 15, 16, something like that. But we're back in the saddle, y'all. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Andrew Carruthers from The Journeyist.